Yo,
It's a little more than I thought.
I don't even know I had that in my bag, bro. To be honest with you, it was just like I was such like a point of turmoil.
Hey, not the stress about the singing. That's great. On today's episode of the Procrastination Radio Show, I was privileged to sit down with another amazing creative by the name of Insyt.
I hammer through the hard days, small dose of self-love, I leverage through the long phase, flows onto my song waves, feet up like
Insyt is a musician that creates in a way that feels like a breath of fresh air, while also feeling really familiar. And I was super excited to sit down and have this conversation to speak about his recent project, Mi Casa, and a bunch of other really, really amazing things. As a producer, I love getting a chance to talk to other people who come from the same class of influences, and this was another time where we got to just nerd out on all the things that we love. So I hope you enjoy this episode as much as I did recording it. But before we get into anything, I would love if you took a second to like and subscribe to the channel. If you're listening to the podcast, leave a comment, leave a review, just so you can stay up to date with everything we put out here on Procrastination Radio. So without further ado, let's get into insight and conversation only on the Procrastination Radio Show.
For sure. That sounds good.
All right. Hello, everyone. Welcome back to the Procrastination Radio Show. I am your host, iancomplex, and today we're back for another amazing conversation with another amazing guest. This time we have the producer, rapper, writer, poet, Insyt. How you doing today, boss?
I'm doing great, man. I'm living, I'm breathing. You know what I mean? I can't complain. How have you been?
Yeah. I've been good. I've been excited, like, honestly, to have this conversation because I realized, looking back in the archives, doing some research, that I've been listening to your stuff for a minute. You know, I think it's always cool when you realize that that's somebody that you've been rocking with for a minute. Like, it kind of comes into your life in different other ways.
For sure.
But yeah, I wanted to up front just say how much I appreciate the thought you put into your work and how exciting it is to see so many other people to be able to like perceive your gift and just to take it in with such open arms. And like, just wanted to open up and ask you, how does that feel to see so many people kind of caring about that?
Man, it feels really good. It feels really like confirming too, just like in terms of like being in the right place and doing the right thing. So it's kind of nice to see that return on investment for sure. And yeah, I put a lot of like vulnerability and a lot of my like heart, blood, sweat, and tears into like the music. So it's like I'm just glad that there are people out there that connect with it, to be honest.
Yeah. No, those people are going hard for it in the comments, man. It's like just even the small fact that you got your own type beats now.
That was like, crazy. That was like, that's when I was like, this is real. That was very crazy,
bro. That's like, especially like coming from, I feel like we have some similar influences from a production standpoint from what I've noticed of your music. But like, has anybody from that kind of era of the SoundCloud spot, like, have they reached out? Has anybody like just shown love in that way?
Like, you mean like from like the kind of like, what do you mean by like the SoundCloud era? Like,
I feel like there was in like an educational time. I don't know what exactly happened or how it started, but I feel like a lot of people were speaking from the same influences and making music around like Overcast and
sure.
like J-Rob and just kind of DiMaggio, all these people who are making music. I feel like there was a big group of producers and rappers and just even filmmakers and videographers who were kind of creating in this bubble. So I wonder for you if any of those people have reached out, because the music, man, like it's just it feels good to hear it, you know?
Thank you, man. Overcast is definitely one that like I was tapped in with, like especially his like early SoundCloud days, when he was doing like the rememberies like beat tapes and like the Christmas theme. But like he's someone that like I'll definitely like try to DM or keep in contact with when I can, just because like whether it's just like, oh, like, what do you think of this beat, or like, I made this beat with your drum kit, or like, you know what I mean? So definitely someone I try to keep in contact with. Not like with homies or anything, but I try to
Yeah, yeah.
I try to do it like someone I really look up to. You know what I mean? So
For
yeah.
sure, for sure, for sure, for sure. No, it's been amazing, man. I think again, like the detail and thought you put into your music is amazing to witness, and I wonder with the release of Mi Casa Su Casa, which was an
Hmm.
amazing tape. I got some off some like not beef, but from from a music standpoint, the stuff that you were doing on this project just kind of took me took me to so many places, and especially on Black Andromeda, like that's
Yeah,
one of
that's a
the
song for sure. It's a song. Yeah.
I it's just it's too much to even try to communicate right now, but I know that that process was a lot for you. So can you
Hmm.
kind of explain to me what was going through your mind when you were making Mi Casa Sukasa?
Yeah, man. The thing about Mikasa is it was really like my life. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like as much as it is like music and it is on these platforms for people to listen to, like my life is really seeped into that project. Like
Mm,
everything, and it's damn near in chronological order too. You know what I mean?
mm,
Just like in terms of like the events of everything that informed the music.
yeah.
So it really wasn't like I'm gonna sit down and like try to make an album and I want the track list to like. It was really just like I need this music to help me stay afloat right now. Like I need like
Yeah.
this is like my what I'm leaning on, and it kind of pushed me in a corner of like getting uncomfortable and addressing things I maybe didn't want to address. You know what I
Mm,
mean? And then I guess by the end of it, or maybe near the middle, I was like, okay, this is kind of starting to look like a an album, you know,
mm-hmm,
and the
mm-hmm.
track was starting to come together and all that. So, but it wasn't like a like I'm gonna make an album. It was like, man, I'm in
Right.
deep like strife. Like I'm going through a lot. Like I need to make music to help me like better maneuver this like
Yeah.
hardship I'm going through. You know what I mean? Which is why I think people are connecting with it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Was that hard to like put it out in the world since it carries so much weight?
No, it was
No,
so.
interesting.
When I released it, I was so thankful that it was like out in the world because
Yeah.
it really puts like my like real life experience like makes it really tangible. Like in like
Yeah.
5 years, I'm gonna listen back to that album and be like, yeah, I remember these moments. And because it's just so
Yeah.
true and so authentic, I,
Yeah.
I was really excited, even from a music standpoint, like to show people like more of myself, like more of
Right.
myself than I've ever shown on any other musical, you know what I mean, project or anything like that.
Yeah.
So yeah.
That's super interesting, man, because I wonder and like, do you feel you were able to communicate any of those feelings outside the music at that time, or was this like truly the only way? Like when you were sending to people, where people were like, man, I didn't even know that this was going on, or like
Yeah.
they were like, okay, this makes sense.
The thing about it is like I'm a true believer that like art isn't really therapy. Like I think therapy
Yeah,
is therapy.
yeah,
So
yeah.
like
For sure.
like so I actually had to like do work in real life. You know,
Yeah,
I actually did
that's
go to
amazing.
therapy. I actually did like start journaling, start like
Yeah,
creating action plans for my day to like get out of that place.
yeah,
And the
yeah,
music was kind of just like the cherry on top. Like I was able to document
yeah.
that
That's
process.
fire.
You know what I mean?
That's
So
really cool.
yeah.
That's really cool. I like that's an amazing way to think about it, because I do think it's easy to fall into the weight of the situation and like
Hmm.
put too much into the music, where it's just like I don't know if I can put this out, or I don't know, because I think it would be interesting, and I haven't personally put out music in a very long time,
For sure.
but when I was doing it, the music was heavy
Hmm.
in a way where I had to wait a certain time to put it out because I just needed to get over a lot of it, you know,
Yeah.
and I wasn't putting that time into it. So I wonder for you, since you did have a more positive and more intentional kind of process with that, when you were like shooting the videos, how did that feel to kind of be on the other side of it and
So
just be able to attach a different part of creativity to your art?
it felt super necessary and super time.
Yeah.
Like just to allow people, for one, to match the face to the artist, and to
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
really be confident in like encapsulating like this I won't call it a character because like it is me, but like just fully being comfortable with embodying it, because like it was weird trying to be like a rapper around like
Yeah.
you know what I mean, just like in like the
Yeah.
smaller scope of like my, whether it's my friend group or just like my environment. So like being able to
Right.
like show the world like my art was like
Yeah.
so freeing. And I was gonna say on your other point, I think looking back, it was like by the start of making the album, I definitely probably wasn't comfortable with releasing some of those songs. But then by the
Yeah.
time I had like time had passed and
Comes together. Yeah.
the track list was track listing, I was like,
Yeah. Yeah.
nah, this is fire. Like I need,
Yeah.
especially because it's like enough time has passed and I'm no longer really attached to some of like the, you know, more vulnerable side of the music. So I just had to go
For
back
sure.
on that question or that statement.
Yeah. No, that's real. And I think kind of following up with that, like, do you have a kind of post-mortem process with your music? 'Cause I know you have such an extensive body of work, and I feel like every project feels like a different entry and like a different intention.
Mhm.
So is it hard to like, I know you're working on new music now, to kind
Mhm.
of jump even like the promo process is another thing to take into account now. So
Yeah,
you kind of have
100%.
to be in some way connected to it still. So is that difficult, and how do you approach that?
Yeah, it's like obviously like dropping music nowadays is not just like pressing a button and then it's out.
Right.
Like there's a whole like planning
Right.
and
Right.
budgeting and all that other stuff. So I don't know. It just is. It's like kind of like the life I chose. So it is what it is.
Yeah.
And honestly, it's kind of nice to like it even with Mi Casa, it was like planning all of that out and having kind of like a team also to plan it out with.
Mm.
In a way, it was like respecting, one, the art, and two, the actual real life events that inform the art. Like if I was just like super willy nilly and
Right.
unorganized with like how I was releasing it, I'd be damn near just like disrespecting myself. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I embrace it because it's like we're treating it with a level of intention and seriousness, because that's the same intention and seriousness I put into actually creating the
Right.
music. You know what I mean?
Right.
So yeah.
That's amazing. And talking about the people around you, like I
Hmm.
want to touch on the amazing visuals. Like,
Thank you, man.
man, the again, the attention to detail and the highlighting for your like the entire crew and people behind it, because it takes a village, and I think a lot of
Yeah.
people overlook that. Like, I hope people don't think it's just you
No.
in on those sets by yourself. You feel me? So it's
Nah.
like
Whole group of
I want to
people.
know about the intention of trying to translate that music and that life that you lived into a visual format, and how was that process for you, and how did you find those people, or did they find you?
Yeah. So I dropped a project last year around February called
Yeah.
The View from the Sky.
Yeah.
Um and it was just like something I mixed it myself, I mastered it myself. Like it was like my first EP I kind of put out. And
Yeah.
then my boy Genesis, who's out in Seattle, listened to it, and he's a director, he's a filmmaker, and he
Yeah.
had an idea of making a short film for whatever my next work was gonna be. So then from February to probably damn near the end of the year, we were planning back and forth like how we were gonna do this, because I'm based in Toronto and he's in
Right.
Seattle, so I had to fly
Right.
over
Yeah.
there. Like it was a
Yeah.
whole thing. So in terms of like encapsulating the moments of my life into like a visual format, I kind of left that to him, because
That's cool.
honestly, the thought process and like the creative vision of directors is so
Yeah. It's
crazy.
different. It's
It's
different. Yeah.
it's so different. So it was like it would have been like so disrespectful for me to try to like. No, I was like not like whatever you're thinking is
Yeah.
gonna be so much like grander than whatever I had
That's
in
funny.
mind. So
Yeah.
I really just let him take the reins on that, and
Yeah.
man, he killed it. The whole crew killed it. Like,
Yeah.
was able to meet so many people, experience so many new things. You know what I mean? So it was just like a beautiful time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's yeah, man. It's amazing to see that like love and care put into it. And I guess for question, like, was there a beat scene or like a scene that was supportive of your music in Toronto?
In Toronto, I mean, that's the thing. It's like I go to school in London, Ontario. I go
Got you,
to
got you, got you,
Western
got you. Yeah,
University, so a lot of the
yeah,
times when I was making music, I wasn't even really like anywhere near the city. I feel like I'm now kind of seeping into it, like
yeah, yeah.
The Toronto, I'm not gonna hold you, bro. The Toronto rap scene is very strange.
Yeah. In what way?
It's very undefined. It's very
Okay,
it's very murky. You know
got
what
you.
I
Is it like
mean?
still getting there, or it's like
I'm not gonna lie. Yes,
yeah?
I think
Okay,
so. I
got you, got you,
like,
got you.
and I really do think it's gonna be me and my homies are about to like lead the charge,
That's real. That's real. That's
and
real.
like whoever wants to dispute that,
Yeah.
you can dispute that. But it's like sonically,
That's real.
I'm pretty sure that's what's happening.
Yeah, that's
Like,
interesting.
because it's in Toronto, it's like
Yeah.
R and B in Toronto is like
Okay,
it's like
that's the pocket.
that scene is crazy. But hip hop and
Got
rap,
you.
it's a little undefined. But
Yeah.
continue. Sorry, I interrupted you.
Interesting. No, no, no. Yeah, I was just kind of going deeper into that, like trying to see if there were any influences on your music from like Canada, or if there anybody
Oh,
like if there's anybody who was kind of seeping into your inspirations.
definitely Mike Shab,
Okay.
100%. His last album's pretty crazy.
Yeah.
Um, Raz dropped a project with DJ Muggs, which
Right.
is very crazy. I think
Yeah.
SD Knack is also Canadian. I could be wrong,
Okay. Where?
but what's that album? Live from the Tabernacle, something like
Okay.
that. Crazy project.
Yeah. Yeah.
There's probably more, but you know,
Yeah.
yeah.
You're real. You're real. What is your like listening process like to music? 'Cause I know some people, some creatives like to separate it, or like I can't listen to too much music because it'll influence this one or a third, or like I
hmm
gotta be making music or listening to music. It's not one or the other, or I can't do both at the same time. What is it for you, and how has that changed if it has?
Yeah, I try not to intellectualize it too much and just try to like
Yeah,
stick
yeah,
to enjoyment because it's just
yeah, yeah,
sounds at the end of
yeah,
the day.
yeah,
But I think that depending on like the process I'm in terms of like making a project, usually the thing I'm listening to the most is my own music, admittedly,
that's real.
because it's like I'm trying to familiarize myself with it,
Yeah,
familiarize myself with the track list. Yeah, but honestly, outside of that, it's like whatever I'm feeling at the time. Maybe some
yeah,
new music is dropped. Maybe I'm spinning something on vinyl. You know, just enjoying it first and foremost.
yeah, man. That makes a lot of sense. I liked how you put that, trying to familiarize yourself with the content and the space that you're in, so you can kind of
hmm
speak in that language. Does that same thing apply when you're like collaborating with people?
Uh, I'd say collabs are definitely a bit different.
Yeah,
I don't know. That's a good question. I think collabs are probably the same thing. It's like I run it back a couple times and try to familiarize
yeah,
myself with it.
yeah.
But you also just have to leave room for a second opinion or a third opinion, depending on how many
Hmm.
people kind of have their hands in it. But
Yeah,
yeah, I'm just a big album guy. I think so. Like
yeah,
if it's my work, then I'm definitely listening to that like a million times. To
yeah.
be honest, yeah.
That's I have this thing that I've been finding a little not strange, but it
hmm
keeps coming up between different artists that I'm kind of getting to know recently. There's a lot of athletes, and
yeah.
the athlete to musician pipeline is seemingly very, very strong and direct. And I mentioned this on the Coffee Black episode, but because of your background,
Mm-hmm.
do you have an approach to music in the form of like competition in any way?
Yeah, I peeped that. I peeped that clip, and I know Coffee Block
Yeah.
can hoop too. I'm trying to go down.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I know you dropped the clip the other day. It's a lot. We might have to put a little
I'm trying to go to
5-on-5 together. You know.
I'm trying to go to Detroit. I'm trying to go to Detroit, bro. I have to hoop
Hey
with this,
man.
man. But man, for me personally, my personal
Yeah.
relationship with it, like, there's no competition. I can't lie.
Where?
It's like my relationship with writing and with making beats and everything is like almost 99% out of love and 99% out of
Yeah.
like um because honestly, in terms of like getting ahead, like that's where it starts.
Yeah.
Is
Yeah.
the having the passion for the actual art form and I think what I've been learning is just like if I really seep into that and respect it and
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
honestly leave room for something outside of myself to move the art, then I'll get ahead. I, I don't have to look left and right and see who's because it's just
Yeah.
someone might blow up and make millions, and I'm just like I'm just not there yet. It's not my
Right.
time yet. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And if I can't look down at anyone who's starting out, or
Yeah.
because that's their time and that's the time that they're in. A part of me is a kind of like a determinist when it comes to like, or like a fatalist when it comes to stuff like this. So
Yeah.
kind of going with the flow and not trying too hard,
Yeah.
to
Keeping it
beat
authentic.
anyone, because it's and this is something my next project definitely highlights too. It's like it's me versus me,
Yeah.
always,
Yeah.
first and foremost. So, but on the court it's different. The court
Yeah.
it's very different.
Leave all that music stuff behind. It's like we
It's like
here
nah,
is battle.
I'm trying to win. What do you mean?
Friends will be lost. So people being blocked
I'm
after the
saying.
game. You know,
I'm
it's gonna
saying.
be. Yeah, man. It's funny because I think that like I think there are different outlets for the competition. Like I think with like you mentioned in a very similar way, like creativity is something that feels so sacred and like
Mm-hmm.
singular. Like I feel like we all have a different relationship with creativity and art, and I think we all kind of might push similar buttons sometimes, but it all comes out differently, even if it might feel the same in different ways.
For
But
sure.
it is cool to see people express interest in different things outside of creativity.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm wondering for you is like, what else do you nerd out on, or what else do you kind of give 100% to in your life when it's not focused on creativity?
Man, just like right now, my like health and well being.
Yeah,
I'm definitely big on trying to love myself to the best of my ability, because if I do that, then everything else is so much easier.
yeah,
So yeah, just like nourishment and like getting sunlight,
yeah.
exercising, try my best to eat right. Um,
Mm.
because
What
then
you
it's
be
like,
cooking?
bro, I be using the air fryer
Hey man,
a whole lot. Well, my go to was like salmon, asparagus, and potatoes, and
yeah,
just throw
the
the salmon in
staple.
the air fryer, throw the asparagus in the air
Yeah,
fryer, throw the potatoes in the air
yeah.
fryer.
Air fryer is magical. Air fryer just
Honestly, one of I don't know whoever invented the air fryer deserves like a Nobel Peace Prize or
come on.
something.
I'm saying
Like,
just quick. It's just quick, easy. You don't waste time. It's just everything is there.
but I need to deepen the bag though, for sure when
Yeah,
it comes
yeah,
to cooking. Yeah, though, just like because if I love myself, then it's like I can love others, which I enjoy doing,
yeah.
and just like be there for other
Right.
people.
Yeah,
Uh, yeah.
yeah, man. I kind of going back to just a lot of the recent attention, and I kind of want to know
Hmm.
if anybody has said something that kind of has moved you in their reaction to the art that you make.
Yeah, man. Someone commented that their like brother passed away or something
Yeah.
like that, and they were saying that like the music video I dropped, like they keep going back to it, and it's been really
Mm.
comforting for them. And that really kind of touched me because I think everyone's probably done this, like with their relationship to music, is like gone through really hard times and just like totally like leaned just on a song, you know, and lean. So just the fact I'm doing that to someone else is so crazy to me. Because that's what it's for. Like I really did drop Mi Casa to like obviously for myself, but like I know other people are going through. Other people are always going to be going through the same hardships that are on that album. You know what I mean? Yeah. So, which is why there was like on Dharma, I'm like, I'm trying to live when I'm gone, and the stories I've told. Like I kind of had a hunch that this is something that hopefully will live on for a while. You know, and people will continue to lean on for a while. So yeah.
That's such a beautiful, like you said, kind of just like a circle of life. Just you kind of being there for people, and like you said, loving yourself and going through all that work to be able to even make the space for that and to be able to create that work, man. I think kind of moving into like a little lighter place. I need to know when you dropping the full singing tape, because that little vocal on Hannah Venus and Serena, you feel me? I was like, all right, I see the bag.
Yo,
you know, it's a little more than I thought.
I don't even know I had that in my bag, bro. To be honest with you, it was just like I was such like a point of turmoil.
Hey, not the stress about the singing. That's crazy. That's crazy, bro.
Yo, I'm crying. It just came up out of me. I don't know what to tell
you. Yo, because at first I was like, okay, cool. It was like, all right. Then I heard a little vocal. I was like, hold on now, what's going on?
Yeah, so much music on that album. I was like, I don't even know I could make a song that sounds like this.
Yeah, man.
But it was just a testament to like what actual, I guess, hard times could push you to do creatively, maybe. Like, but because I'm not gonna lie, like I've been trying to sing, and I can't. I don't have it like that. But just that song, I was able to just find a pocket that made sense.
That's like, the one, yeah.
So definitely no R&B like albums dropping anytime soon. But
yo, Toronto might need it. That might be the lane that you getting the R&B back.
You might be right. I definitely want to try and like dip into like a neo soul bag maybe. Like I definitely want to use that as like live instrumentation more.
Yeah. Oh, that would be crazy.
Because like even doing shows with live bands, like the audience is so much more receptive to the you know, versus just like if the beat was playing. So I don't know, something to think about in the future, perhaps.
Yeah. Sure. Nah, man. The project was amazing. I was happy. I was telling my girlfriend as I was doing research, man. I was saying like it's so cool finding artists that make you want to make music again, you know, and make you want to kind of like okay, maybe my pen a little rusty. I gotta get back, especially on the outro, man. You left a little beat on there, and I was like, this beat a little nice. You feel me? This beat. That's how I knew he was a producer. I was like, that's a beat tape move there.
That's what the art does, bro. It's like it's supposed to listen to it, get inspired. Maybe you make something and then that inspires someone else, and it's just like this beautiful like bridging of
inspiration, man.
So
yeah. Would you ever get into like scoring for movies or scoring for other people's stuff? Like I don't know how much you are producing for other people at this point, but like what does that look like when you're kind of in service to other people's kind of creativity?
Yeah, so I'm scoring a couple different things right now.
Right.
Which I've kind of been learning is a kind of a natural process for me a bit. Like it's like I've been doing this for a while, so I'm kind of at the point where it's like I could try my best to capture a sound or a vision that someone wants. And in terms of with producing for somebody else, this year I've been kind of big into like my own stuff, like just in my own projects. But especially because it's like if I make a beat I really love, it's like I'm probably gonna rap on it, to be honest.
That's
Uh,
real.
but as things progress, and hopefully I'm in a space where I have like the time and energy to sit down and make beats for somebody else.
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm sure that'll be a smooth process. But
Yeah.
at the same time, I'm like, damn, I'm probably gonna make something sick and be like, oh, I kind of
Yeah.
want to, I kind of want to bar out on this.
Drag it. Drag it to the Dropbox. Like,
Yeah, you
my
know.
fault.
But yeah.
That's man funny, man. This is kind of just like an inside baseball conversation. But when
Hmm.
you were making beats, were you like nervous to sell anything, or nervous to kind of like give it away?
Yes.
Yeah.
Because like, let's be honest. Like, I can make a beautiful whatever, and it could get butchered, or it could be used in a way that's like.
Yeah.
But that goes back to like respecting where people are at. You know what I
Right.
mean?
Right.
And
Right.
just
Right.
being
Right.
like,
Right.
because think about it, like maybe even if this person isn't rapping like Nas, it's like
Yeah.
they have an ear for like a good beat. You know,
For
they know
something.
what
Yeah. Exactly.
they know what they want sonically. So it's like
Exactly. Exactly.
I'm not. I don't enjoy selling beats. I'm not gonna lie to you. And if I
Okay.
do it, it's like this is a good beat. I'm not rapping on it. Like
Yeah. Yeah.
it's like let's make some money.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because I don't really like turning the art into like commodity. But like this is the
Mm.
world we live in. You know what I mean? There's not much you
Yeah.
could do
Yeah.
about it. So
Yeah.
I don't say it makes me bread. You know, so,
Yeah. Yeah. No, real. It's
yeah.
real.
So
Yeah.
it is what it is.
Yeah, yeah. No, but that point you made about turning the art into commodity, it does feel different, especially from the instance of like, okay, I gotta make a beat. Yeah, as opposed to like, oh, this is coming to me. Or like, oh man, I gotta I'm
Yeah,
called to chop this up, or I'm called to put this together. It
it's
does feel
tough
very distinctive.
because
Yeah.
it's like usually I'm used to being like when it comes to you and the
Yeah.
inspiration to do something comes to you, it's like it's time to do it. But even nowadays, bro, it's very much like I need to finish this today. Like
Right, right.
I need to. But the beauty of it is by the time I'm in the middle of the process, it's like, oh, like I love this.
Right, 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 right,
Hopefully,
right.
is
Right,
what
right.
I should be feeling. So
Do you revisit any songs like that? Like if you have a verse that you maybe have to do in the moment like that, do you ever revisit and like redo it again, or you just don't touch it to kind of like keep the time protected?
like you in terms of like if I'm doing a commission, or do you mean just like old songs?
Like you were saying, if you're doing a verse and
Hmm.
it's like a moment where I gotta rush and finish this, do you ever be like, oh man, let me go redo this verse? Or would you rather have it be like, this was a time capsule of a specific feeling I was in, and that rush made the song what it was? Let me
Hmm.
not touch that.
It definitely depends like where I'm at and where I'm writing
Yeah,
from, and it kind of depends on like what the music kind of invites. Like honestly,
yeah,
some beats you listen to and it inspires you. Like man, I got to talk about like all the tough moments that are going on or have gone on.
right,
Or you hear a beat
right.
and it's like, man, I'm about to talk about all this money I'm making and all these. I
Yeah,
don't
yeah,
know. You know, uh, so rap is like pretty dynamic that way. That it's like it is fire whether it's shallow or it's deep. You know.
right,
So
right, right.
yeah, it just depends where you're at or where I'm at.
Yeah,
Sorry. So
yeah,
I have love for
yeah,
either
man.
or. Rapping is
Yeah,
fun. Like sometimes it's time to talk about
that's
like
real.
vulnerability, but sometimes it's time to talk about how good you are at rapping. So
Yeah, yeah. I've been so happy to see kind of the people who are kind of in the same camp be able to have more fun,
yeah,
and show that duality, because I do think
Overcast is a
as
good
much
example of
as,
that.
yeah,
Yeah,
Overcast, everything Mike is doing recently, like just like Earl, everybody, Mavi, people having fun, people outside doing their thing, and the loopers, it just is like so
facts.
many people. I feel like the looper's been doing it for like from jump. He just been like, this is my personality, and it's been cool to
Hmm.
see people lead with that personality, and because I think people were inspired by the rawness and the depth of a lot
Hmm.
of people's early stuff. Um, I think that kind of led people to a direct place of like, this is how I have to come and how I have to make my music. But it's really cool, like we're talking about, just seeing people be like, yeah, I got this side to me, like you're saying, but I don't rap all the time. You know, I'm gonna rap about like the
Yeah,
stage of
man.
life I'm in now. I'm in a different place. I can't be the same
Yeah.
person. You know.
It's like that's what I love too. Just like I feel like with each project, I have the opportunity to show people a different side of myself, which is like
Yeah.
really exciting.
Yeah.
So, because yeah, you drop something and people connect to it, and they're like, "Oh, this is who he is. This is him
Right.
or
Right.
or
Exactly.
or her." And it's like,
Right. Right.
nah, I'm gonna turn like I, people are dynamic, bro. We're
Yeah.
confusing.
Yeah.
We're complicated, and like the art is always gonna show that. You
Yeah.
know, you can't like
Yeah.
if I was always in the like, what if I like came out with like Mi Casa 2? Like, what if I came out with like just like
Right.
another like heartbreak? People like,
Same
damn,
joint.
bro,
Yeah.
like,
Right.
like this guy's still
He's
weeping.
hell, bro.
Like, yeah. So
Yeah.
people change.
Yeah. No, it's beautiful to see because it's like growth. You know, it's just a human experience. It is what it is. And yeah, man, I think this conversation has been really, really fun. I think being able to get some insight to your character and like who you are, how you conversate, really kind of colors in all the music in a really cool way. You
Facts.
know, so it's like cool. It just makes sense. You know, listening to you and listen to how you talk, man. I think um, I'm excited for more people to kind of just like go back and you have a lot of music. You have a
Yeah.
lot of music
I
out.
was taking that in the other day. I do. Yeah.
You got a lot of music out, and
Yeah.
it's cool because, like you said, it's like it's a chance for people to see the growth, you know, and see the trajectory of even how you approach projects. I wonder if you had to recommend either two songs or two projects of yours for somebody who wanted to get more information on who you are. What would those kind of two entries be?
Yeah. People, if people really want to see the growth and really want to see like what I
Yeah,
started, you got to go on my SoundCloud, bro. Like
yeah,
in terms of production, I have this project called The Midst of It All, which
yeah,
it's like a super quick EP, but like I was really trying to like go all in terms of like making beats and all that. And in terms of rapping, I hope
yeah,
Tomorrow It Rains was like the first EP I dropped on streaming. So I think people should check that out. And also The View from the Sky was like my first attempt at making a like let me make a fully produced EP
yeah.
and just try it out. Like all of I see all of this was a stepping stone to get to Mi Casa. So
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
I think
Mm-hmm.
people should check out the stepping stone. Some of the music like is rough, and you can hear that I'm like
Yeah,
learning how to like do things, but it's like
yeah,
it's still an attempt, and it's still something I appreciate. I still think is like beautiful. So
yeah,
those would be the options. I think. Yeah.
yeah. And the same question, but if there were one or two projects that weren't yours that kind of helped you get to where you were and could help people kind of get more info on you, what would those two projects be?
Well, some rap songs by Earl
Yeah.
Sweatshirt totally like messed me up when I first listened
Yeah.
to it. I was like, I didn't even know this was allowed.
That's,
It was I didn't even know that you people
yeah.
like it, so that's one that definitely was kind of like, man, this this art is speaking to me
Yeah.
and inspired me. And at the time, it was
Yeah.
like I didn't even know inspired me to do what, but it was just like
Yeah.
one of those
Something.
ones.
Yeah. Yeah.
There's so many, man. Like War in My Pen by Mike,
Yeah.
definitely did it. Let the Sun Talk by Mavi.
Yeah.
Uh, there was a Live EP that I bought on
Yeah. Live's
vinyl.
crazy.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Frank. It's like Frank, but
Mm.
it's like abbreviated. Super crazy music. there's so much, bro. The
Yeah.
Song of Stage, Post Panic.
Man.
I ran that. I remember, bro. It was like the winters along those lines of 2020. It was like midst of COVID.
Yeah.
It was cold too, so it was like niggas was going through it. So that album,
Yeah.
I heard Moment Hung off that project. I was like, I didn't even know music could sound this
Yeah.
beautiful.
Man.
So yeah.
Yeah, man. That's all those choices again, just such intentional projects, and it's amazing to
Yeah.
have you be able to already realize that your music is doing that same thing for other people. So I thank you for being a part of this conversation. I'm excited for people to hear it. If you have any last thoughts, do you have any last thoughts? Any questions, concerns, anything you want to promote, anything you want people to know?
Bro, I'm not gonna lie. My next album is crazy.
Oh,
My next album is like
that's a lot.
I'm very excited to put this
Yeah,
out in the world for sure.
yeah.
And that's all I'm gonna
Nah,
say about that.
that's yeah. The held back emotion I could already feel in your face was
Yeah.
that's enough to to say it's about to be crazy.
It's just like
Yeah. And then right after that, Mi Casa, Tu Casa, right? From what we said, we doing the
nah.
repeat.
Nah. No is my response to that.
Yeah.
But I'm gonna just keep showing people different aspects of who I am. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I'm always excited to do that because I don't want people to kind of bound me into like my
Yeah.
heartstrings. Like, oh, like
100%.
insyt's sad and vulnerable and like, nah,
Right.
bro. I'd be
Right.
like,
Yeah.
like this interview shows like I'm having a good time. And
Yeah.
laughing and all that.
And
So
that's the point, man. I think it is like what you're saying. Like I think so many people don't get to see people in the context of who they are. You know,
yeah,
there's like so much more that goes into creating music and creating and existing as a person who does create, you know. So I'm glad that we got to like just chop it up, you know, and again,
definitely,
like
man.
being able to have the insight of your music and being able to see how varied you were in your approach to everything, again, it made sense just having you here and talking to you today. So I appreciate you.
I was
Excited to hear new music, man.
thank you, man. Like I really appreciate
Yeah,
you for the invitation. I appreciate this conversation. It's been super like
of course.
a nice way to I don't know, a nice way to spend a Sunday afternoon. I don't know.
Yeah, man, appreciate that.
Kind of sounded crazy, but
No, you're real. We vibing, and then we gonna hit Coffee Black for the ball at a different time. We can't forget about that.
are you in Detroit?
No, I'm in Florida.
Are you in
So
Florida?
it's gonna be like a meeting of the minds.
Fast forward. We'll make
we gonna get overcast in. We gonna figure something out. We all gonna be
we'll make it work, bro.
Yeah, man. But I appreciate you again. To the audience, whether it's day or night or evening, stop procrastinating. Go get after your dreams because they are waiting for you. Peace.